before we get to the main shit, right? I want to say this. People are gonna be rude to you. People are gonna be assholes to you. But that doesn't mean that you have to reciprocate that energy with them. It's all a frequency thing. If somebody's rude to you, or somebody's an asshole to you, or whatever, you can be so at peace with self that you really don't even pay it no mind. Again, it's a frequency thing. This is when I say, our perspective is what shapes our reality. Like, no two people live in the same reality because no two people have the same perspective. Somebody could look at a no, somebody telling them no, like in business, and they could be like, well, fuck, I'm gonna quit. And then other people could look at that no and say, okay, next opportunity. Like, God is always protecting us. God is always looking out for us, always. Everything happens for a fucking reason. And that's why I will continue to say, like, life's never gonna be perfect, right? Life's never gonna be fucking perfect. However, the world is yours. The world is yours. But you have to be willing to go through the rejection. You have to be willing to go through all the bullshit, make the sacrifices, and just go for it. Like, and that's not me saying don't have fun with what you're doing, because it's one thing to work hard, but it's a whole nother thing to work joyfully. Because when you work joyfully, when you can, I'm trying to tell you, like, you'll work even harder because you're actually enjoying what the fuck you're doing. And a lot of people talk about discipline, right? But for me, discipline is just doing the shit that I know I'm supposed to do. Some people say discipline is doing the things you hate like you love it. I mean, yeah, that's one way to look at it, but for me personally, that shit just doesn't work. Like, I'm like, this has to be done. It's my responsibility as a man to get this shit done and to keep getting better, so I'm gonna do it. Like, sometimes it's joyful, sometimes it really ain't. It's just a fucking headache, and it's fucking annoying. However, right, everybody's different. Everybody's fucking different. So, at the end of the day, you really get to pick and choose. You get to decide what it is you want to do in this life. But the first thing you got to do is actually understand where it is you want to go. Because if you don't know where the fuck you want to go, and if you don't have a plan, you're just going to fucking end up anywhere. Like, think about it as if you were to drive. If you knew for a fact that you wanted to go live in California, but you live in Virginia, if you don't have a fucking plan or some kind of roadmap or whatever to get to California, you might never get there. Because you don't have a fucking plan. You might end up somewhere in fucking Texas, or you might end up in fucking Wyoming or some shit, and you're like, where the fuck am I? So the main thing, and this is why I say perspective is everything, because as we're on this journey, right, of self-improvement, increasing financially, getting better physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it all wraps. Everything wraps. Where attention goes, energy flows. These are just things that I'm learning and I've learned. When I woke up this morning, I felt like absolute dog shit. But I know that I have a responsibility to myself, to my business, and to the people who believe in me, and to God first, to continue. I have a responsibility to continue. Like, it's not an option for me. I know where I'm going. I know my plan, right? And I have the roadmap, and I'm just going to continue to pursue the roadmap until I get there. It's not, a lot of times in life, we tend to complicate shit, like, to the extreme. We complicate shit. And sometimes I'm like, why? Like, when I find myself overthinking, or I find myself just on some bullshit, right? I just pray. I just pray and give it to God and just continue to work. or take a fucking nap and get up and get back to work. Like, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily call it like difficult. Well, yes, difficult. I would call it, we say difficult, not necessarily complicated. But then again, nothing is difficult for us. Nothing is hard for us. It's just what is required. What is the sacrifice? What are we giving up to gain what it is we want? And if we're willing to make that sacrifice or pay the price, pay your dues, we can have it and we will have it, but we have to pay our dues. We have to continue to go and go and go and go and go. And sometimes, man, y'all, life is just about surviving the storm. You have a certain storm. One thing you cannot fucking stop is Mother Nature. You can't stop her, but you can survive her. And that's the main thing. It's just surviving whatever storm you're in. Because guess what? The sun will shine again. The sun will shine again. But the hardest part is going to be just continuing to walk through the fucking snow while it's a fucking blizzard going on. Continuing to walk through the desert while there's a sandstorm going on. Just continuing to do what it is we know we're supposed to do. And really continuing to just push forward. You may not have the fucking capital to scale your business or just leave your job whenever the fuck you want. Like, you may not have the capital for that. And to compare it, you may not have a fucking a snowboard or a jet ski to go down the mountain in. But you know what you can do? You can walk. It's gonna suck. It's gonna fucking suck, but you're just gonna have to walk. You're just gonna have to walk for a little bit. And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. It's about learning to use what we have. Then when we gain more, we can use the more that we've gained. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, this shit is not necessarily about, oh, I gotta beat somebody else. So I have to beat that person down the mountain. I gotta beat this person up the mountain. It's, I'm in a race with myself every day to do what it is I know I'm supposed to do and to continue to get better. And to move with a sense of urgency. Because like I said, we have a lot of time in this life. But we have absolutely no time to waste. I love you guys. Continue to go after what it is you're going after in life. And never give up on yourself. Because you only lose when you give up. So let's fucking win.